Alright, recently I was requested to do a first floor border defense, so today we're going to be going over a bathroom tellers defense. And as always, what we'll do is go ahead and go over the full setup, and then the lineup and how you play. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over site construction and reinforcements. So the first thing you're going to want to do is reinforce this left teller's wall, as this means that if they get bottom square area, they will have to use some sort of utility and waste time in order to come in and go for this ideal protected plant spot. Additionally, we're going to make footholes on these three tellers' walls, and these are twofold. The first thing they'll allow you to do is, if someone is coming here and planting, it'll allow the roamers to deny the plant through them. And additionally, if someone's walking down this bathroom hallway, a teller's player can see them and deny them, and it's a pretty advantageous gunfight. Next, we're going to reinforce this wall and make a rotate on the right side. You obviously want to rotate in between sites so you can move around between them. And having this reinforcement here means that if attackers are outside playing through the teller's window, they won't be able to deny this deep area in bathroom where you're playing, and sort of this is the core of the site where your smoke's going to play. Additionally, it means that you can play behind this shower half wall and then contest anyone outside. Next, we're going to reinforce these two walls into workshop and have a rotate on the third panel. We want to make sure we have some protection if we are to lose workshop, but you want to rotate because we're going to extend horizontally for this site. And then over here on the workshop wall, you're going to want a head height line of sight. This allows your workshop players to contest the teller's window hop-in. Next, for workshop, we're going to reinforce these two walls into vent. And what this does is it means that essentially the attackers can come into vent, but they won't be able to contest you in workshop. If these walls were soft, they would be able to hop in and blow open this wall and basically contest your workshop rotate. So you want to at least force them to use utility to clear that angle. Next thing we're going to do is make footholes into passport from customs, because we are going to have some customs players, and this allows them, again, similar with the bathroom hall footholes, to take an advantageous gunfight if anyone does push into passport. We're also going to reinforce these two walls in detention, as we want to make sure that customs and detention is a playable protected space. And finally, we want to get both the workshop and the bathroom hatches, as that will allow us to play in workshop and bathroom without having to worry too much about attackers just hot dropping into the site. Okay, so that is the broad overview of the site setup and how you're going to do reinforcements in site construction. And now we're going to go over a little bit of the theory about why I chose to set it up this way. So I didn't want to do a defense for vent or customs because those basically haven't changed since the border rework. But Bathroom Tellers has become a pretty good site, and I would recommend it be the secondary after you do your Armory Archive. So to defend that, there are two common ways. You can extend horizontally, meaning you play mostly in the first floor, or you can extend vertically, meaning you play a little bit in Tellers and Bathroom, and then extend vertically into Armory, Archives, and Office. My stack generally prefers the horizontal defense, so I decided to take a look at what it really means to play that well and develop a strat to really flesh out the horizontal extension. We're essentially going to assume that the attackers might want to push above, and if they do, we're just going to let them. The goal here is essentially to take up as much horizontal space as possible and occupy all of it, so that even if they are to take above, they aren't able to effectively leverage the vertical pressure to kill us and push us out of the site. So typically the danger of vertical pressure is that, say if you open this bathroom hatch, it means that you're able to nade into bathroom and push out a bathroom player, and then you can just drop into bathroom. And that's dangerous because if you don't have ways to contest that, you've essentially lost bathroom, and they're likely going to get a plant off, and you're going to lose the round. So what's interesting about this defense is if you're able to take up all of the first floor, meaning you maintain control of customs, blue, workshop, bathroom, and tellers, then you can essentially let them apply as much vertical pressure as they want, and as long as you're not silly and give them the frags, you can just move out of those areas and then use the horizontal pressure that you still have to apply and contest the areas that they're contesting vertically. So just to rephrase that in a simpler manner, if they're going to play vertical and they're going to have a sledge that's going to muck up all the office and archives floor here to contest bathroom and workshop, maintaining all this horizontal control means you can just move out of those areas and then use the line of sight and site construction to contest them if they decide to drop. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and do the lineup. For this strat, we're running a Smoke, a Cade, a Jager, a Valkyrie, and a Castle. And just briefly before we go into how each of their utility is used, we want a Smoke because he provides plant denial and site construction. We want a Cade because he allows us to protect the two hatches that keep these core areas of our site protected. We want a Jager to protect our core site players from grenades and protect Smoke's shield. We want a Valkyrie because we need information, and we want Castle because we're using him to protect certain areas and alter the flow that attackers will have pushing into the map. Alright, so now let's go through each of the operators individually and explain how they're going to use their utility and how they're going to play together. So starting with Smoke, Smoke is going to play in Bathroom because as the plant denier and site anchor, you want him to be able to lock down this Bathroom and Tellers area. So playing him in Bathroom, he's able to play behind this protected showers area. He's going to put his shield on the bathroom door, and that allows him to lock down this bathroom hallway. So playing in this area, he's able to essentially help the workshop player and contest anyone that decides to push this blue area. Additionally, he's able to throw smokes over the rotate to deny this default plant. Now, Cade is going to play in Workshop on this deep angle behind the carpentry table. His 1.5 allows him to contest these long-range gunfights, and additionally, he's close enough to the rotate that if all 3 smokes are wasted, he can fall back to site and use a nitro for plant denial. As I mentioned before, he's going to place his Cade claws on the bathroom and workshop hatches to make sure that attackers won't be able to just push us out of those areas easily. They're going to need to work for it. Jager is going to support Cade in Workshop. He's going to place 2 ADSs to protect Smoke's shield, which again allow him to lock down this bathroom hallway and square passport area. And he's going to place his 3rd ADS on the door into Workshop from main, as attackers will most likely throw throwables to try to clear them out from this area. He's going to place barbed wire on the blue hallway and on the Teller's window hop-in. That way we have sound cues, because both of these areas are in immediate proximity to site, and we want to know as soon as possible if attackers are pushing those. Now, Cade and Jager are going to play together in this workshop area and sort of play off each other to contest attackers pushing in through vent or main door. I'll get to castle later, but essentially this castle barricade means that there's going to be sort of 2 pushes from the attackers unless they decide to expend utility, and the defenders should be able to punish them for that. So the natural flow is going to be either in vent or in main or above these 2. And they're going to have to choose to play together to contest those angles, and if the vertical pressure is strong enough to push out into blue, which will be protected, and I'll again explain that later. Now we're going to go to Valkyrie. Valkyrie doesn't have much setup to do, so she can do a lot of the reinforcing, and given that she wants to place at least 1 cam above, she can reinforce the hatches. Again, the goal of having the Valkyrie is to make sure we have a source of information, since none of the ops really do that for us. So ideally we want to have 1 cam in the blue area, just in case we lose workshop or blue. We want to have 1 cam in the square area to give us information if attackers are pushing down east or through passport into square. And the final cam we're going to have above, giving us information on archives and office, as attackers are likely to push above and apply vertical pressure. Having a cam up here gives the defenders playing below some idea of how they can react and an ability to nitro them and respond to the attackers. And finally, Castle. Castle is going to play with Valkyrie as they sort of roam about this customs detention blue area, and he's going to place 1 barricade between the main entrance and bottom metal. He's going to barricade off the 2 Tellers window hop-ins from square, and he's going to use his final castle barricade on the double door from square into blue. The reason we have these castle barricades is to control the flow of attackers, and essentially make it so the defenders have this big horizontal space they can extend into and move around as the attackers push them. Having a castle barricade on the double door between bottom square and blue allows the defenders to rotate between customs, blue, and workshop without fear of having to contest an angle. Similarly, having a castle barricade on the door between bottom metal and main means that 1, attackers are funneled into vent, main entrance, and workshop, and 2, that any attacker pushing this area won't have a direct line of sight or the ability to directly pressure Castle and Valkyrie as they move around and roam around this area. The other 2 castle barricades here on the 2 Tellers windows are to make sure that if Smoke decides it's advantageous to play in Tellers instead of Bathroom, he's able to do so without fear of being shot from square. So that's the strategy, and I hope it's helpful to you. Again, the whole premise is that we're going to control as much of the first floor as we can, contesting attackers if they approach us from passport, from detention, from vent, from main, wherever, and then just allow them to take control of the second floor. And if they're applying vertical pressure from the second floor onto where we are, just move out of the way so that it isn't effective. That's why we're taking up so much of the first floor, because it gives us so much space to play around with and move around with. So yeah, I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope it works well in your ranked and unranked games.